So today's story time is definitely one of my favorites ever. Like, actually one of my favorites to tell. Whenever I tell this to a friend, they crack up. Whenever I tell it to like anybody, they just love it. And I haven't told it on my channel yet, just because I thought it was so good, I wanted to save it. And it's been years, so I thought, you know what, it's time. Now, throughout the years, I've talked about, people that I've met that are pretty stupid, all right? And I've talked about myself being pretty stupid. But this person I'm about to talk about today might take the cake, okay? He might be number one brainless man ever. So I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time all starts off back in 2018. Now around this time, I was living a pretty simple, pretty boring life. I was in my hometown in New York. I was in my own apartment. I just moved back from LA kind of recently. And I was mainly just spending every day getting up out of bed, making videos, playing games, and then ordering food and sitting inside all night. I wasn't really doing anything around this time. This was around the time that a lot of my friends were getting actual jobs and like going to college and stuff. So nobody was really around to do anything. So I kind of just sat inside and I was bored most days, right? Now this all starts off like any other day back then. I had just finished working on a YouTube video. I was laying in my bedroom, just on my bed, scrolling Twitter, just doing nothing, right? And around this time, I also wasn't smoking. I had not smoked weed or like hit a vape or anything in a very long time, for mainly two reasons. One, it just gave me a bunch of anxiety. And two, I didn't have anyone to buy it from. Around this time, this was right before New York actually started to like kind of legalize it and make it more easy to get. So it was still kind of hard to find, right? So I was just sitting in my room, not really doing much, right? And I kind of had the idea / like urge to smoke. I was like, I'm kind of in the mood to smoke some weed. I haven't smoked weed in a long time, and I'm really bored and I have nothing to do tonight, and I'm just going to be watching Netflix. Maybe I should spice my night up a little bit and get some weed. So I started texting friends of mine who I know smoked, and I was like, hey man, can I get your plug? Like, I don't have anybody. And within like 2 text messages, one of my friends sent me his plug and was like, yeah man, he's super chill, super good dude, like, you'll love this dude. So I saved the dude's number, I texted him, I was like, hey man, my name's Austin, I'm friends with blank, wondering if I get some weed. And he's like, yeah man, for sure, what do you want? I told him an eighth, and he was like, bet, can you come to my house? I was like, sure. So he gave me his address, I went to his house, I got there. Now I assumed I was going to go into his house, buy it, and then leave. But apparently he had roommates that didn't know he sold weed for a living, and he didn't want them to find out. So after arriving to his house, he told me to get into his car, and that it was unlocked in the driveway. And it was a Hyundai Elantra. It was sitting in his driveway, just on. It was just turned on, the keys were in. Just there. He's lucky I'm a good person, because some other people would just steal that shit. But yeah, I got into his car, and a few minutes later, I see him come out of the house. He comes down the driveway, gets into his car in the driver's seat, and he opens up the glove compartment and pulls out this eighth and hands it to me. So he had it like in the car ready, which was kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, he hands it to me, and he's like, here you go. And I was like, thank you, man, for real. Like, you came through. I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, man, no problem. Anytime. Like, you got my number. I was like, thank you. And then he goes, did you drive here? I was like, nah, actually, I Ubered. Because at the time, I didn't have a car. I'd moved back from LA kind of recently, didn't buy a car yet. So I Ubered there, right? And he's like, bro, you need a ride home? And I was like, nah, man, it's all good. I'll just get another Uber. Because I didn't want to, like, inconvenience this dude, right, that I just met. He goes, nah, bro, I got you. I was like, oh, shit, man, well, thank you. I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, where you live at? I gave him my address. He puts it into his phone. He's like, dude, you're, like, down the road. That's not far at all. Like, I totally got you. I'm like, thank you, bro. So next thing I know, he's putting the car in reverse, and we start going backwards down the driveway. And we're leaving, right? And then he slams on the brake and he's like, shit, I forgot something. You care if I run inside real quick and grab my Gatorade? I'm like, go for it, bro. All good. Like, dude really wanted that Gatorade. But here's the part where the story time gets a little interesting, okay? And by a little, I mean very interesting. This dude opens the door of the driver's side, starts getting out of the car, but doesn't put the car in park first. So this car is still in reverse. And we are on a very steep driveway that is very long and steep, aka he starts getting out the car and the car starts rolling because this fucking dude took his foot off the brake and didn't put it in park. So this car starts rolling down this steep driveway with me inside of it. So I start yelling at him because he doesn't realize it. He's turned around, like walking the other direction. I'm like, yo, your car. And he turns around and he sees it rolling away from him. He's like, oh, fuck. And he starts running towards it, right? But at this point, it was too late. The car had already picked up enough momentum to be rolling faster than he could run. Because like I said, dude, this driveway was fucking steep and it was long. It was one of the longest, steepest driveways I've ever fucking seen. And of course, I just had to be the person inside of the car that was rolling down it, right? Now, at this point, I have two choices. I jump out and I roll down the driveway and get a little banged up and, hope that I don't get that hurt. Or I just stay inside the car and keep rolling with it. Now, obviously, I'm opening that fucking door. But here's the problem. On the right-hand side, where I was going to be opening my door, there was a, gate. He had, a little gated entryway, and it was, made of brick and stuff where the gate attached to it. And if I open my door and try and jump out, I'm going to hit the door on it and probably break the door clean off. And also, if I jump out not quick enough, I'm going to hit this giant brick wall and probably break every bone in my fucking body. So I just decided to wait until I'm past this, wall and hope for the best, right? Now, as soon as we get past that wall and the car is rolling even faster now, it's to the point where I'm almost in the street in this thing, right? It's about to be in the street. And a truck is coming. A fucking, Ford F-150 is coming down the neighborhood road going 30 miles an hour, maybe even 40. And I'm just sitting there bracing with my eyes closed that this truck is about to just T-bone me, right? And I close my eyes and I hear it whiz by, just before the car hit the street. And then his car hit the street. And now I'm rolling in the street, and I go to open the door and roll out, which I did. I rolled out into the street and gashed up my knees and my arms pretty bad just because I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. But I was okay for the most part. And his car proceeds to roll up the other driveway, the neighbor's driveway across the street. And they also had a really steep driveway. So it rolled all the way up, right? And it lost all of its speed and momentum. And it stopped just before it hit their garage. I think it might have tapped it a little bit, but at that point, the dude was able to catch up to it before it rolled any further, and he was able to get into it and stop it and put it in park, right? And then he sat in his neighbor's driveway in park for 30 seconds, just breathing and having a panic attack, then put it back in drive, drove it through the street, up his driveway, back to where it was and parked it. And then he got out and ran over to me and was like, "Yo, are you good?" And I was like, "I'm fine, bro. I'm fine." He's like, "Dude, I am so fucking sorry. I did not realize I didn't put the car in park." I'm like, "Bro, it's fine. I'm just happy that truck didn't hit me. I'm good." And he's like, "Do you still need a ride?" And I can't lie, bro. At this point, I honestly just wanted to go home alone, take an Uber or something. Because if this motherfucker forgot to put his car in park before getting out of it on a steep hill, who knows what else he'll forget to do, right? So I told him, "You know what, man? Don't even worry about it. I think I'm just calling Uber or something." He's like, "All right, man, I'm sorry." I was like, "No, dude, you're good. You're good." And honestly, bro, I didn't even want to ride home with this dude to begin with before all this happened because I didn't really know him that well, right? I was just going to Uber home. So after this happened, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not riding home with this dude. But he did apologize a lot, and he did seem genuinely sorry. It's not like he did it on purpose. It was just a stupid accident. I mean, it could have been a deadly one, but still, he did do it on accident. And after he apologized a bunch, before I left, right before my Uber got there, he gave me another eighth for free. He's like, "Bro, just take some more weed. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it." So, in the end, got some free weed out of it. Almost died, but got some free weed out of it, which is cool, I guess. And yeah, I Ubered home and smoked a bit and just chilled and tried to relax after the chaos that was that day. Now you're probably wondering, Austin, did you keep buying from that dude? Did you ever see him again? I did. I did see him again many times after this. I continued to buy weed from him throughout that whole year pretty much. So I saw him quite a bit, and he was always really, really funny about it. We'd always joke about it. And it became a thing of the past very quickly. We learned to laugh about it pretty soon after. I'm not gonna lie, I still didn't ride in his car, ever. But yeah, we laughed about it quite a bit. But yeah, guys, there is a moral to this story. If you're ever getting out of a car and you're the driver, or your friend's the driver, make sure they put it in park before taking their foot off the brake and leaving you rolling to your death potentially. And if you're driving, make sure you put it in park. I'm not gonna lie though, I think most of you are a lot smarter than this plug was, so yeah, I'm sure you don't even need to be told that, but just being safe. But yeah, guys, that's the story of the time my plug almost killed me over a fucking Gatorade because he wanted his drink and he forgot to put his car in park. So yeah, man, pretty crazy shit. I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys all later. Peace.
I know your place, bad bitches, pull up on me, I got 2 switches, 20 gauge rounds, hit you up like it's nutrition, I've risen, everything came to fruition, stop the jealous talking on your girls, mine I might hit it, I heard my name is in your mouth, yeah I really doubt, you want me talking back cause I could really